Have you ever wanted to set up an exciting play activity that's fun and engaging using things that you just have in the house but don't know where to start? Then this video is for you. Keep watching. Hi everyone. If this is the first time that you're clicking on one of my videos, then welcome. My name's Sophie and I am an early years professional and I'm a mum to an 18-month-old little boy called Finley. If you would like to see more videos like this, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. So the first activity we've got is an oldie but goodie. It's a musical instrument provocation, and I just grabbed a few household items from my kitchen to play with, along with some bottles that I filled with dried rice and dried pasta, which were really great for shaking and squashing the bottles as well to make that lovely cracking sound. Finley really enjoyed playing with them, as you can see. The thing he enjoys best though actually is banging, as I'm sure your little one does as well. So I provided lots of different boxes and tubs for him, made with different materials. So we had cardboard, Tupperware, a metal pan lid, and then different types of spoons as well for beaters. It's really important because it makes different types of sound, and it's a great opportunity to chat to your little one about the types of sound that they can make and talk about loud and quiet sound, fast and slow sound, and help to introduce that musical language to them as they play as well. You could even sing along with them or practice stopping and starting as you play. The next activity we had was a dark den. So much fun and really easy to do. I just made this one next to the corner of my sofa. I just used the footstool and some blankets to cover it up, and it makes a great instant den. You could do it anywhere in your house, and little ones love that sense of enclosure. It links to the enclosure schema. They like to be enveloped. They like to have that private space, and it's really great for language development as well. We added in some light toys as well, a torch, a flashing ball, and his light projector from his room. But you could just go in and read a book together, use that in and out language as you go in and out of the den, and just encourage talking with each other. Next up we had scarves and toy animals, which are great for role play if that's what your little one likes to do. My little one loves to envelop, and that again is linked with that same enclosure and enveloping schema as in the den. So we covered up the animals, we played peekaboo with them and with Finley as well. He likes putting the scarves on his head and pulling it off. It's also a really great activity to encourage little ones to talk about different parts of their bodies. And we had a go at talking about the different parts of our bodies with our doll here. She's actually my doll, Julie, from when I was a little girl. So we talked about the different parts of the body, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, and we were touching the different parts. And you could even have a go at singing head, shoulders and knees and toes as you were playing as well. There's lots of different ways to extend this provocation depending on your child's interests. Next up we headed outside because it was lovely weather, and we did some transporting. Finley loves containers of all shapes and sizes, and he loves to carry things from one container to the other. I placed the containers a little far apart, as you can see, so that he had a little bit of a challenge, and we had some quite heavy rocks as well, which are fantastic for building those gross motor skills and that those big muscles in their shoulders and arms. Really important skills for them when they go on to learn to write eventually in the future, and just do physical play. So we had a go at transporting these different objects, putting them in baskets. As you can see, Finley really liked filling up the basket with all the rocks and making it full to the brim. You can also talk about weight and size comparison when you're doing provocations such as this. So we had different size containers, we had obviously heavy rocks, some lighter rocks. I provided some different sizes of balls as well, so you can get really great mathematical language in there as well. The next activity we had was water play. Now my little one loves water play, and I think probably he's not the only one out there. We added some food colouring to our water to make it a bit more interesting. You could do the same or add bubbles, you could do hot water, cold water, even ice cubes. There's lots of different things that you could do easily with whatever you've got in your house to make this as complex or as simple as you like. Finley loved pouring and tipping the water out, and was particularly surprised about the cold water on his legs. It really lends itself to talking about hot and cold, to talking about tipping and pouring. And again, like the activity before, it brings in all that mathematical language, talking about capacity and the size of containers. I provided some different size scoops there as well for him to use to scoop out the water with, and again you can talk about size with those. So you think early maths should be learning numbers or learning shapes, but really these are the key math skills that they need to be developing at such a young age. Water play is also really good because water is quite heavy if it's in a large amount. So again, it's really good for building those gross motor skills, those muscles across the top of their body, and great for tipping and pouring as well. You can even do some mark making if you wanted to. Grab a few rocks, put some water on with your finger or brushes, and you can do some fantastic mark making on the rocks as well, just like this. So with all the activities that I've shown today, and actually any activity that you carry out with your child at home, it's really important to keep on talking to them as you play together. It can sometimes be tricky when you're not feeling in a very conversational mood, and I know that happens to me quite often. Or if you're just an introverted person and you don't particularly like to be the one that does all the talking in a group of people, it is really important to put yourself out there and just chat to your child as you're playing, because they're going to get so much out of it. They'll get so much language and learning from you, and you're helping to build that bond between you as well. If you find it tricky to think of something to say, then a really good tip is to narrate what you're doing. So you might, for example, if you're doing the water play activity, say something like, "Oh, now I'm going to pour the water into this bowl. Let's listen. Can we hear the sound that it's making? Isn't that a nice sound? Can you have a try?" Or now I'm going to pick up this bigger jug and I'm going to have a go at pouring water into this smaller bowl. So you're getting lots and lots of different language in there, lots of that mathematical language that we talked about in the video as well. You can also narrate what your child is doing. So you might say something like, "Oh, I see you've chosen to cover up the teddy bear's tummy with the scarf. Let's pull it off and say, peekaboo. Can you cover up your head with the scarf?" So it's just those kind of conversational ways of speaking that will really encourage and develop your child's language and help them to get a lot more out of those play activities. It's much better to do that than to do the standard questioning that you often hear parents do, where you might say something like, "Well, what colour is that?" or "What shape is that?" Because when you question your child, you're really just asking for a one-word response or a one-word answer or a very simple answer, and you're not asking your child to engage in conversation with you and actually think about the language that they're using. And if they're a younger child and they're not actually at that stage yet where they're talking, it's still really important for you to use conversation and narration rather than questioning, because you're just speaking more. And so they're hearing more language from you rather than if you just question them. about probably something, let's admit, that we know they know the answer to. So we might know that they know the shape circle, or we might know that they know the colour blue, and we ask them anyway because we want to hear the answer, because as parents it makes us proud and it's lovely to hear our children responding to us correctly in that way. And it isn't wrong to question your children at all, but just try more than questioning to have that element of conversation in your play. Thank you very much for watching my video today, everybody. Don't forget to like the video and leave a comment below saying whether you're going to try any of these activities with your children at home, or whether you have done already and you found that they're interested in them or they're not, and maybe how did you extend it in another way to make it more interesting for your child. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about in the video today, or you'd like me to elaborate further, then do leave a comment below. I'm happy to make videos on anything that I've talked about today, such as schemas, or more in-depth videos showing any of the activities, more in-depth water play ideas, more in-depth gross and fine motor skill activities. So please do let me know, and I'll be happy to make those